Hey, I think we're live. Well, not live. I think we're recording.
Is this thing
So,
working? It's on?
hey, so welcome to a special, a look back of 2023. I know it's 2024 now, New Year's Day when this is going up, but this is our look back from 2023. My name's Richard.
I'm Matt.
Hi, Matt. So yeah, I just asked, hey, who best to be all nostalgic about this last year than Mahobera 8 himself, the Matt.
I suppose I fit the role just a bit.
A bit of a fan. All right, so I made some notes about things that happened this year, and we're just going to go through it. If you're interested in that nostalgic look, then here we are. Let's continue on. So I want to start actually with December 2022. Jeff and co. We're just coming off of playtesting Jupiter. So heading into 2023, that's where we were at.
It was an exciting time. Did you end up getting to go to any of the Jupiter playtests? I didn't.
I didn't. I was hoping I'll make some notes, and if we have something that we're like, oh, right, let's bring that up.
Oh, the videos from it were incredible to watch. Of course, I wish that I think they joked that they didn't to record the whole thing because nobody would watch it. I'd be like, I'd watch it.
Well, and it's good to know, you get the little bits of, oh, okay, so that's new. Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
Because we had only gotten blue, yellow, and red.
Right.
So to see anything past that was like, sweet, there is more. And we are maybe going to get it. This is in December at 2023. So maybe we will get it in a year or two.
Right. And they dropped so many hints about some of the changes. There were so many hints about the being able to play as the alien player, which was an entirely new thing. So that's an exciting idea as of the full set of Jupiter.
Yeah, really. Just this something different. And Jeff has said he's never won playing with the aliens. So I think it's a good challenge for those who know.
Jeff doesn't tend to win in general because whenever he's playing with anyone, everyone's like, hey, let's get Jeff.
I guess so. He's the creator. We got to get him. Yeah.
Yep.
Therefore, he knows the game the best and will manipulate his knowledge to win. Yeah. So I guess that maybe is not a fair assessment.
Yep. It's fun. So I don't know. I can't remember if I remember someone else played as the aliens once, I think, in one of the play tests. I could be remembering that wrong. I don't remember hearing whether they won or not.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But it's an exciting difference. The different win condition. I imagine you want to do it with a relevant amount of players. 2-player Jupiter is probably going to be a bit rough in general. You definitely wouldn't want to do alien plus regular player in 2-player, I imagine. But I bet if you have 4 or 5, I bet that's probably optimal for that sort of situation.
Yeah, the chaos of Killer Bunnies in general is better with a higher player count. So you're throwing in this player doing something completely different. I think that would just flavor it nice.
Yeah. This year I had my very first larger player count Jupiter game. We organized one on the Discord with Tabletop Simulator. Not full Jupiter, obviously, just the starter through red. It was extremely enjoyable for me because the only previous Jupiter I'd done was 2-player, and 2-player Jupiter is rather difficult. We'll see how it is in the full set. I play a lot of 2-player Quest. I strongly prefer larger player counts Quest, as I probably will strongly prefer larger player counts Jupiter. But that first real Jupiter experience that I had with the starter plus red for I think it was 4 or 5 players, it was absolutely incredible. So I'm really excited about Jupiter.
Nice. Did you play with the new card infusion rules and all that?
Yes. We played it with the new rules as they would be in red. I think the only slight difference was the carrot counts, because in Red Booster original Jupiter it had 2 carrots, and Red Booster new Jupiter has 1, and then that second carrot gets introduced in the violet. So it's slightly different than it was in, but that was the only true difference we had.
Cool. All right. Well, that's how we were coming in 2023. And And then I wrote my notes. January 20th, Ultra Pro was having a sale. Well, isn't that awesome? Boosters are cheap. Isn't that great that our publisher is selling our boosters for $6?
Yeah. And now they're out.
Yeah, they're out completely for some reason. Yeah. I also wrote the great Ultra Pro purge begins.
Retroactively, that's of course what that was. And of course, Ultra Pro Ultra Pro was an interesting publisher to deal with at times.
I mean, gratitude, because we did get more boosters through them. They did do some reprints.
Yep, that's true. And we're appreciative of that. Everything was
they do, yes.
slow. Each booster was roughly a half a year to a year and a half late.
Late. Not between, late.
Not between. Between there was, I remember, this would have actually been around the time that I started getting involved in the online community for Killer Bunnies, was around the time of Fantastic Booster. And I remember during those announcements, which weren't much that I saw at the time, it sounded like the plan would have been to have them release 2 boosters a year, one every half year. And I think Fantastic was half a year late, and then Caramel was a year late.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, Cake Batter's the notorious one, which I don't know how.
Still waiting for Cake Batter.
Still waiting for it because now it's out of print, right? But I suppose, yes. I don't know how it took them so long. I ended up getting my copy of Cake Batter like half a year sooner than everyone else, including Jeff, because Ultra Pro sent me as like a proof copy.
Yeah.
I suppose you could say. So that it took. There were no mistakes with it. It's not like they had any corrections. It's just that it took that much longer, which I don't know how that process works. I'm sure it was stuck on a boat at the time or something.
I guess during the time period, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. January 23rd, the year of eBay auctions begins. I wrote someone was selling Delta decks that day. Also, Jeff really got into it as well, because he had a whole lot of things that he was selling.
Yep, and I accidentally became a collector.
You weren't before this year.
I wasn't. So I went into the auctions, and I thought to myself, hey, I want an original Jarnac. That's how I started.
Okay.
So I bid on the set of the first promos, which included the original Jarnac. And because I knew that, relatively speaking, those are considered very rare. And I've heard in the past, this would have been a long time ago, they would sell for $100 each. So I was like, hey, I don't want to see this original Jarnac go for less than $100. I'll put that as my max bid. I got it. I got it for like, I don't know, it was something like $80 for the set of promos, right? And then I start applying that same philosophy to every other item. It's like, okay, I don't want this to go under this. I don't want this to go under this. I don't want this to go under this. And then I'm getting the deluxe set. So I ended up getting the Delta promos. I ended up getting a set of Deltas. I ended up making an offer on the used set of Deltas that someone else was selling, which ended up having a few Delta promos in it. And I ended up getting the C deck. So many items were just like, oh, well, there goes $2,000.
Oh my god!
It would have been $4,000 if someone wouldn't have outbid me on the anniversary set. That was one of the last items. I think that started at I think that started at 2,000 if I remember right, and it went for like 2,200. I think my max bid was at like 2,150 or something like that. I can't remember. I know who outbid me. I'm not going to out them, but it's the same person that ended up outbidding me on a lot of the items I ended up getting. Most of the items I actually got were second chance offers.
Oh wow, okay. So you're looking for B&A still then?
Yes. If
Yes.
a before went on auction, I would definitely jump on it. You see,
Okay.
I'm looking at this. I'd still say I'm not a collector. You know, I just said I have $2,000 in Killer Bunnies items just saving myself, right? I would still say I'm not a collector. I'm an investor.
An investor. Okay.
The way I looked at the large majority of those items is like, you know, imagine you could have a Black Lotus back in the day. Now,
Right.
price probably is never going to get there, but the large majority of the items I got, I think some of them went for lower than they're worth due to auction fatigue. Like, you know, the first set of Jarnac promos that I got, you know, sold for 60 or 80 or something like that. I ended up getting a couple more sets for like 10.
Oh wow.
Because you know Jeff had so many, it's just
Oh
everyone
yeah. Once
everyone
it's
who
out
wanted
there,
it had it. So it's like, okay, I'll bid on this one, I'll bid on this one, bid on this one. Accidentally got a lot. I have like 3 sets of the Odyssey promos. I have like 4 original Jarnacs or something like that. So many signed cards, whatever. So yeah, I accidentally became a collector because of that.
Good. All right. Oh,
Did you end up getting anything in the auctions?
I ended up not buying anything in the auctions. No, it was a year where I needed a bit of extra cash, and I had a few things, so I was like, "Well, it's time. It's time." You know, sometimes you have some things. It's hanging around. You're like, "Wait, I have this, and people want it." So,
Yeah.
whatever you say is fair is okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the conquests and the yeah, the conquests ended up going for so high near the end there.
Yeah.
It
And
was
Kindle
just
was ridiculous too. And some people noticed that and were like, "Oh, you know, some people are willing to pay 500." So then, you know, you end up seeing a set being sold. I am asking $500 for this. I'm like, I mean, I put it at retail, and if it went that high, that's how high it went. But to start that high, I don't know. That didn't sit right with me seeing other people doing that.
yeah, it was definitely off. But around the time when the deluxe sets went, which I think Jeff ended up auctioning slash post a deluxe set for like 1,500, I think. And each of the deluxe sets went for like 500-600. Now, the interesting thing about that is the deluxe set that was listed for like 1,500. It was a later number. Allegedly, the numbers that Jeff auctioned off were really early numbers, like 1, 2, 3, or 4. I think mine's number 3, but I'm not going to open it to confirm.
Okay.
I feel like if that would have been on the list, you'd be like, "Hey, this is number 3 of the deluxe set." I feel like it went for more, so I think I got really lucky there.
Awesome. All right. Well, okay, moving on then. January 30th. Jeff made a post. It's just a little, okay, so he wrote, "I assure you, I don't even get a discount. Let's not put the space cart before the alien horse. Please, everyone, let's not start a campaign to discuss or add an alien horse." So February 3rd, Jeff announced he's making a Jupiter promo card called Alien Cart Space Horse.
Yep. That was bound to happen.
Fans gonna be what fans gonna do. Fans gonna do what's fans gonna do. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just thought that was funny.
I don't have the Jupiter cards memorized. I was about to say I don't have them all memorized yet. I can't quite remember what it does, and then I remembered that's the one that lets you take your space turn before your ground turn, right? If I remember right.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I'm 95% sure. So we'll
That
see how
makes
relevant
sense.
it is. Yeah. Some of those promo cards are very spicy.
Yeah.
This one, maybe. I remember Jeff commented something like, "Hey, you might not actually want to add all of them."
I remember that, yeah.
Some of them are pretty high value. Jupiter cards in general are pretty high value, but especially some of these ones. This one, I don't know. We'll see strategically what you can actually do with playing the space turn before the ground turn optionally. I'm not sure how significant that will end up being. I mean, maybe you could imagine maybe you're doing your space turn, you end up doing combat with an opponent's ship, you kill that ship, and then your sustain the bunny goes on a different ship now that you know you secured that ship. Maybe there's something there. But I think it's relatively minor value, but I don't know. We'll see.
But yeah, a lot of people think about that about a lot of cards and then end up realizing, oh, this is exactly perfect for this turn. Yeah.
That's true. And as a special card with the top up mechanics and the big deal, odds are you're probably getting it for free, so you're never sad about it.
Yeah, it's not a wasted turn for sure.
Yeah. So it's strictly beneficial.
Yeah. All right. So I'm reading from my phone. That's what I'm looking over here for. Throughout the year, there was a lot of, does anyone know how to find, insert your booster here, questions. So there was probably a lot of that in between Playroom and Ultra Pro. So that really should have been, if not that major Ultra Pro sale, this being the harbinger of something's coming. We're running out of stuff. And it's not just pandemic related.
Right. Yep. This would have been, the signs were all there all along.
Yeah.
The Ultra Pro sale, the generally running out of boosters, how many print runs Ultra Pro ended up actually doing. I'm not sure, obviously, how many boosters they had at a given time. Not sure. They appear to be all out now. Who knows if they actually sold out. Maybe Jeff bought all the extra copies.
Yeah. If you want some, you come through me.
So, that's possible. There was, I remember a post that Jeff made where that one of his local game stores or something was going out of business and he ended up buying all the copies from there. It's like, hey, here they are. Here's the prices. They were all cheaper than usual. It's like, oh, that's great. Maybe we'll see that again, but regardless, as we'll get to, there's big Quest news coming, so we're all extremely hopeful for big news, and including, we'll get to that. We'll save
that. Yeah, and moving on, I felt like the anticipation for cake batter was greater than the anticipation for the current next booster, radioactive robots, which I think will eventually come out with a longer time period between boosters once radioactive robots is out, between cake batter and it. Then London and cake.
Yeah, we'll find out what the plans are for printing that. We, of course, don't know what plans have changed. We've seen a prototype of all of Gen 2 with, well, I say we as a community, as in
we've seen video.
Yeah, we've seen the video of the play tests of the anniversary set.
Yeah.
So we know roughly, and we know which boosters were in that anniversary set. So we know roughly what Gen 2 was planned to look like. What plans have changed since, how many years ago was that? I don't even remember. Who knows what plans have changed since then? Yeah, that sounds about right. So we'll see what happens with the big Quest news. I'm hoping to see. I'd be surprised if we didn't see radioactive robots plus Almond Crisp like it was planned. But what format that actually ends up being in, we'll find out.
Yeah, if the next one is radioactive robots, that has yet to be confirmed. That yes, that's still the plan. And was it this one where they, at least with Ultra Pro, said we're going to be releasing 2 boosters as a single booster? Is that where this would have started?
Yep, there was word about plans for this one being a double booster with robots plus Almond, and then there was plans of like a double, a triple, and a quadruple or something like that. And which kind of made sense because with Gen 2, the theme flavor, or I should say flavor theme technically. If you really wait,
if you start with chocolate.
Yeah, if you're starting with chocolate, it's flavor theme, but really it's theme flavor because how it works from like a design's perspective, I remember Jeff saying, is that you have the theme deck and then the flavor deck kind of completes that.
Yeah.
So caramel kind of completes fantastic. Pumpkin Spice completes Creature Feature, Cake Batter completes London. And there you see some of that in which cards in which, like you saw the completion of the Undergrounds and Cake Batter, which no one actually cares about, but they're there. Or you see the addition of the alloys, the metal alloys, or each instance they did complete each other, so it did make sense from a design perspective to actually make that much more deliberate. But yeah.
2024. Let's find out.
It sounds like we're going to get the news very soon in 2024 as well. It
Yeah.
sounded like we might even hear of it like right on New Year's. So it'd be perfect timing for this to come out. So we're already too late.
Yes. Did I say it's December 22nd as we're recording this?
We're running into the future right now.
Yes, yeah. Anything beyond December 22nd, we don't know about.
Yeah, it
or
just
if Matt
be
does, he's not saying, and I don't want him to say.
All the major news is probably going to drop on January 1st, and absolutely no one's going to care about this video.
Yeah. Or like, this is the companion. Watch this first before you stop caring about it, and then move on to what we actually care about, including
You're going to have to release this at midnight for those staying up for the New Year's.
Yeah, maybe I should post this December 31st. Here's your Sunday video, which I don't do.
It'll be fine.
Actually, maybe I should do that. I'm seriously considering that now that I said that.
Go for it.
Yeah, and I'll skip Monday, and there we go. Then I can be with everyone else. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Okay, I think I'll do that. Hey, this is when I decided to do that.
Welcome to the past of the future.
Yes. Yeah, I dropped my kid off at school today, and she's getting off early today, and she's like, "See you later." I was like, "See you earlier," because
that's funny.
Anyways, yeah, okay. Moving on to April 2nd, Jeff said Ultra Pro is no longer printing Killer Bunnies, and that's the end of Zeta.
Yep, this would have been first public announcement of
intentional public announcements, April 2nd.
Yes, thankfully it wasn't April 1st. I didn't even pay attention to that.
No.
Yeah, this would have been the first public announcement of Ultra Pro officially no longer printing. I knew this long before, not because of my usual alpha beta knowledge, but because I accidentally got a leak from Ultra Pro themselves.
Oh, what was that?
It would have been around the time of asking about radioactive robots.
Okay.
And every once in a while I'd ask, and be like, yeah, or it'd be also when I was asking about Cake Batter actually releasing whatever, and the person I contacted was like, "Oh yeah, we have no intentions to print that." I was like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to know that." Okay, I guess I'll just keep that quiet for half a year or whatever it was.
Until announced, yeah.
Yep. So that was funny. It's interesting to have the knowledge that I do as an alpha beta. Which that's good knowledge, but then when you get a leak from Ultra Pro like that, it's like, oh.
And an alpha beta, just for those who don't know, is referring to like a play tester, one in the inner circle of that circle.
Yeah. Jeff's inner circle.
Yeah. Of Killer Bunnies, anyways, for sure.
If Jeff is the Pope, we're kind of like the Cardinals.
Yeah, okay.
In a sense.
And boom, June 16th, Journey to Jupiter Kickstarter page was found on Kickstarter.com with Mr. B Games and announced, or was just a part of that page as the fulfillment collaborator.
Yes, this was the first we saw officially of who the new publisher would be. It's the first I saw of it too. I knew that we would be getting a new publisher. I didn't know who. So Mr. B Games was kind of new to all of us. And it was instantly I go digging on who Mr. B is and all of that. find that he's a fairly small publisher, which I'd say is a good thing. We've experienced Ultra Pro for long enough.
Yeah.
So initially my thoughts were quite hopeful. And then this would have been shortly before the Jupiter Kickstarter when we were preparing the videos that would be displayed on the page, which I was involved in, of course. I actually got to talk with Mr. B on the phone, and I was extremely impressed with him. He definitely seems to get Killer Bunnies, and just from like a philosophical, hey, this is what the game actually is. I never experienced never experienced that with Ultra Pro. I think I remember we had one of the main Ultra Pro directors or whatever on Bunny Banter once. And his favorite thing about Killer Bunnies was like the IRL party type cards like Blanking Madison or Pucker.
The cards that make us go, I mean, it's there and it's cool that there's something different, but
the cards that personally, if they were removed, I wouldn't be sad at all.
I wouldn't be sad at all. My kid likes at least some of those, but yeah, if for me, it's like I don't have to put a key on its side. I wouldn't miss it. I'll do it because it's there.
Yeah, it's like, okay, stack 8 dice within this amount of time to get 1 carrot. It's like, okay, I could have just played a choose a carrot card. And the choose a carrot card is objectively better because it works in a closed market. This one doesn't even work in a closed market. So, most of those cards are like, I understand that they're there. They usually have good references. I'm not the person who obsesses excessively about the references, but I enjoy them. The light booster had far too big a density, and it showed that Ultra Pro's philosophy on Killer Bunnies was, hey, this is a party game of all these fun IRL interactions, which it is in a sense. The Killer Bunnies system is robust enough to exist in that space. It can be. But it's so much more than that, of course. And Mr. B recognized everything that it is in terms of all the social dynamics that are going on, the different strategies that can happen. And I think it really shows that I believe, if I remember right, that he is a game designer himself, and that's why he started the company for small game designers like him.
Yeah, his website has a bunch of games listed, and I assumed that he was a main designer on most of those. I
haven't checked, but I imagine a relevant amount of them. Yeah. So he really gets the actual game design side of things, and basically his philosophy ultimately was, hey, Jeff, make the best thing that you ever want to make, and we'll go along with it. That's basically what it sounded like he was going to do, and that's basically what he did. We saw the Kickstarter. It went exceedingly successful. We unlocked all of the stretch goals. All of them we're very excited about. And, and even beyond that, we have the 3D models coming from, which,
oh yeah.
It's also very exciting that we all of this is happening all at once, and it's all coming really quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's what Killer Bunnies needs. You just reminded me about light. I kind of wish that the carrots for light were like the carrots that came with cake batter promos.
Yeah.
Like you don't need them. You don't have to buy, you don't have to buy lights to get the next canonical carrots. I don't know. It was a weird choice, but from a big business standpoint, I get it.
Yep. I wonder how many people end up buying light just for the carrots.
Me?
Right. I had considered at the time buying 2 lights, and then I saw the card list because Ultra Pro had planned an event that never happened, so I had the card list from that planned event. And I saw the card list. I'm like, there's some inclusions in there I would have made. Density of IRL mechanics is more than I would like. I'm not getting a second set of this. I don't need to play it standalone. I have played it standalone 4 games. 2 for some before the release. We had that preview that we did.
Yeah.
And those were relatively enjoyable. Actually, I think it was only 3 games that I did. I did one more on top of that, and that would have been I used it as a teaching game.
Yeah,
As
I
opposed to
used it for a
starter.
teaching game, and I
Yeah.
mean, it got the point across, and it's like you don't even have to teach special cards as well as very special cards. I know when I first started, excuse me, when I first started my Killer Bunnies journey, it was the case of those special and very special, and you need to make the distinction that these are 2 different cards, which I kind of wish were named differently, like have a special and then have something else, not just very special, you know. But that's a me thing. Anyways.
Yeah, I get it. It works as a learning set, but it has to be the right group. The group that I taught in was not the right group. And the problem there was the IRL type cards where they were not well enjoyed. For example, Hay is in there, and I played Hay and got them to both look, and I was like, "Hey, you both lose a carrot now." And they're like, "What? How does that work? Why has this happened?" You know, it's just something that not every player base is going to enjoy that, which is fine. It has a time and a place. It wasn't good for the group that I taught it in. I think starter set is a bit of a safer choice usually, but light is simpler in some aspects. So for a more casual group and a group that's going to more enjoy those IRL type mechanics, it could work pretty well.
Yeah. All right. I didn't mean for this to become a light discussion, but since we're I forget what the term is called. We're talking about the past. Yeah.
Yeah, Jupiter. We went from Jupiter, one of the most anticipated releases of all time in Killer Bunnies history, to Light, which no one actually cared about.
Yeah, we've played it a couple times.
Yeah. What Light almost represented in the community was, hey, this is Lein from Conquest Adventure or whatever it was next at the time. Right. That's what I felt like.
Let's get this instead. It's new, right?
Yeah, we won't talk about the mass market version that was canceled, thankfully.
Yeah, I got to make fun of that in one of my videos. That was nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. So July 18th, the Journey to Jupiter Kickstarter was launched. Coincidentally, the Bunny Circle Facebook page reached 1,000 members as well. So that's both good job.
But yeah, we were growing very fast during the Jupiter time because it's the first time in a while that actual Killer Bunnies things have been happening. So everyone's kind of getting back involved. I can't remember how many backers Jupiter actually ended up having. Less than 1,000, of course, because the nature of the board gaming world is that each family only needs one copy. So it's expected that it'd be less than that. I think it was like 300, 400.
I want to say like 358 or something like that. I'm actually looking it up.
I know many people ended up getting multiple copies too.
Yeah, people were saying like, yeah, I'm gonna buy a few copies. Like, yeah, this was my one time a year where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do a Kickstarter. I would have done more, but
Yeah.
Yeah, 344.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so it was a very successful Kickstarter. We reached all of the stretch goals, some of which I thought were very ambitious. I always, as soon as I saw the pace of the stretch goals, I knew that we would reach Onyx, which was the most important. Reaching all the promos, I wasn't quite sure if we'd make it, but we did, and exceedingly.
And didn't he throw us a bone for that last one? 3.1. Yeah, I think it was like, we're almost there. You know what? Have it.
Right, and they were heading to convention at the time, so it was a very busy time for them. I think they would have predicted that we would have reached it probably, but they just wanted to give it to us early because just thank you for being so successful, of course. Yeah,
we had this goal, and turns out we reached it, and we're real happy. So thank you.
If we were going to be close and not quite there, I would have just added more copies just to get us there. I ended up getting 2. I would have gone up to like 6.
Oh wow.
So, if the rumors are true and we end up getting big quest news and if there's stretch goals, I'll be there.
Okay.
I think we'll get the stretch goals really easily, whatever they are, whatever format they're in. But I'll be there if we're not quite there.
Cool.
Make an investment, add to my collection.
All right. Then in August, we got the newly revived Mayfair games, Bought Mr. B Games.
Right.
I found out not long ago, like just a few weeks ago, I forget when I said, Sean Brown of Mr. B Games is now president of Mayfair Games. I don't know when that happened, but now we know that that's a thing.
That's funny how that worked out, because we heard the news of Mayfair buying them out, and we're like, oh, what does this actually mean? And it turns out, oh, it's not actually the old Mayfair. It's just whatever you call it, the trademark purchase or whatever.
Yeah, it like ran out, and some new group was like, okay, we're going to use it. We'll wait for the objection period in case we can't, but no one said no. So, all right, we're Mayfair Games now.
Right. And with this recent news, apparently Mr. P is the president of Mayfair. So I was like, oh,
yeah, like where did that come from?
Not even
good for him, but where did that come from?
I know. I don't know. That's crazy, but I think that's excellent news. I don't know if that's pragmatically any difference between Mr. B running Mr. B Games or Mr. B running Mayfair. I don't know if that means, hey, there's more funding available or whatever. But
or more pressure. Yeah.
If we have more Mr. B, that's a win for me in my book, because I've been very impressed with him throughout this whole process.
Awesome. Yeah. So okay. So there we go. So we might see Killer Bunnies as Mayfair Games rather than Mr. B Games, or we'll find out how that works specifically once something gets announced. Yeah. And then I jumped to November. Announcement: Creative Team Alpha is self-reprinting Kinder Bunnies, which immediately sold out. Imagine. They said they'll do a second round, then make the switch to pre-order. Will they take on other sets like Conquest? What of Mayfair? Will they? Only 2024 has the answers. So yeah. With Jeff Jonathan reprinting Killer Bunny stuff, that actually did throw me off a little bit. Like, I assumed 2024 comes, Mr. B takes over, Kinder Bunny becomes a higher priority for Mr. B / Mayfair to print, but then a month before 2024, no, we're reprinting it ourselves.
Right. It's very interesting. I don't know what to think of it. There's a few scenarios where it makes sense. It could just be, hey, let's print it a little bit earlier because we can. That could be it.
And we can make a bit of money a month or whatever earlier than otherwise. But yeah.
They drastically underestimated how many they would need, apparently. I ended up getting one of them because I responded early enough. It's been added to my collection. I haven't even opened the box.
Yeah, for me, it was like, I see this, and you say you're going to switch to pre-order. Okay, that seems fair. I'll wait for that pre-order stage, and then I'll worry about, will I get a set, because I know how high in demand it is. But yes, it makes sense. If you're wanting it, get on it.
I thought about doing it that way, where I was like, I could just wait for the next one. But then I thought about, I was like, it sounds like an excellent collector's item. 1 in 25 of Kinder Bunnies that were printed in 2023. Yes, I need that. I need that on my list. That's almost as rare as my Delta deck.
Yeah, because when a new edition comes out, that's what I've been doing is, because a couple of years ago, I switched from Epsilon to Zeta Zeta finally, and then the starter set got that new Ultra Pro set. So I was like, well, I'm going to upgrade to that. And then I saw Kinder Bunnies is getting, even if it's just they changed the date from 2023, and then Playroom Creative Team out, and that's it. Like, but it's the new set.
I haven't seen if the cards are any different. Maybe they put some of the quality of life features on it like we have for Jupiter, with the bunny indicators or whatever. I don't think it'd be necessary for Kinder, but they certainly could have them. I haven't opened it, so I don't actually know. Someone who opened it, let us know.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't think, because in the starter set, there's your bunnies and then a cyber bunny. And then there's a bit of confusion for a little bit. Is this a bunny and so forth? I don't think you'd have that issue with Kinder. So it might not be necessary. But it might also be a nice quality of life issue anyways to have someone, a kid go, oh, this is a bunny. Remember to put it down.
Yep. Not necessary, but if presuming if we're still considering Kinder canon to Quest, which I haven't heard anything otherwise.
Yeah, I don't see why.
Right. Then it would make sense to have the indicators, assuming with that we're getting the indicators to Quest, assuming we're getting a reprint. So there's a lot of assumptions there. Yeah. There's a lot of big hints that Jeff has dropped. So we're all extremely hopeful about a reprint. Including our next item here, which is on the Jupiter Kickstarter, Mr. B Game casually including the update. Oh yeah, check out what we got next year on our next quest. Big hints there. So the fact that Mr. B posted that as opposed to Jeff or Jonathan posted that makes me think that Mr. B is involved in Quest. I think that's a reasonably safe assumption that we can make, which sounds extremely exciting. We've seen how quickly allegedly they'll be getting Jupiter out, how quick they could get Quest out. Similarly, that sounds great. Maybe we'll see it as soon as early 2025 if the timeline is clear.
Yeah, are they going to do like a giant Kickstarter again? Because we had that deluxe, and it was a Kickstarter, and you got the mysterious place balls. I want that ball. But yeah, what would it be? Because if Jeff says, "Well, I've already designed the cards. Why do we need to wait 6 months, and then another 6 months, and then another 6 months, and then another 6, and then however long?"
Absolutely excellent to see like all of Quest Gen 1 plus Gen 2 in a single box. And I think that
I can handle it because that's a lot of cards. That's heavy.
Big box, yes. That sounds like a big dream, but it also just makes sense financially because the cost of each box is rather expensive. So I'd like to see it all released as one, kind of like what it seems like they're doing with Jupiter. Partially.
Because I could see a and now we're just speculating, I guess. Because I could see a Kickstarter, even like February, March. Yeah, we're doing a Kickstarter for everything Killer Bunnies Gen 2 since it's planned out. Anyone who wants just the later sets that haven't come out yet, you can put money towards just the ones you don't have. That would be great. And for people like me who don't have the money for it but would anyways, who are like, oh yeah, this is the new not Zeta, I'll just buy it all because I'm nutso like that.
I'm going to do the same because I'm tired of looking at these Ultra Pro copyrights on my cards. I want them all to say Mr. B Games 2024.
Yes.
That's what I want to say. And
I want a uniform set. I don't want this 2007, 2024, 2020.
Yeah, that's enough reason for me. But I think what would sell everyone else on buying a whole new set would be if they include some of those quality of life features like we're seeing in Jupiter with the bunny bits indicators, the bunny indicators, all of that would be so extremely helpful for Quest. Especially the bunny bits indicator. There's so many cards in Quest that have obscure bunny bits clauses, and there's just
especially cards that are like, this is definitely a complete clause, but when you read it, you're like, there's a whole other half that I would never have conceived of. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's some very notorious examples there where cathexis bunnies, the clause that they have on the card is the less common clause to apply. That's just a design flaw, arguably. But other cases, like notorious cases.
My carrot is what I was thinking.
That's exactly what the one I was going to list. Dude,
yeah,
okay. Card doesn't actually say what it's doing, right?
Yeah, it says right on it. That's a very clear clause on it. That's a full card right there.
Yeah, and pragmatically, it might as well say what's on the card, because you could just look through all the carrot piles before you play it, and then you have what's on the card. The clause about losing a carrot for making a mistake doesn't matter, unless you do the really obscure give it to an opponent clause, and it's like, okay, am I giving my opponent a chance to steal 2 carrots?
You could.
Maybe losing 2 carrots? No.
Killer Bunnies is set up that there's some situation where you would do that.
There is, I'm sure.
I'll trade you this, dude. Where's my carrot card for something?
Well, I was thinking about playing on them in hopes that they guess wrong, in hopes that they lose 2 carrots. That was the dream.
Yeah, okay.
And you know, I don't picture that. So you know, that clause is fairly, you know, there's an intention there, but the actual practice of it is fairly irrelevant. So it's a weird one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was my list. That's it for me in terms of what I'm coming in with. So we're looking ahead to 2024, and like you said, Mr. B Games said that we're going to have something quest related announced, whatever that ends up being. Of course, we're all looking forward to that. Or it happened by the time you're watching this video, because maybe January 1st, you saw that first. I don't, like, we don't know if that's the situation, but it could.
It could be. You know, whatever it ends up being, it'll be extremely exciting. There is no bad news that they could announce. They could announce just a Conquest reprint, huge. They could announce just a Kinder reprint, huge. They could announce just Radioactive Robots plus Almond Crisp, huge. You know, the absolute dream is a full reprint, obviously, because, you know, everything's out at this point. But even if it's not that, it's absolutely huge news.
Yeah. And yeah, obviously we're looking forward to it. And Jupiter, they're saying, was it August that it's going to be out?
August is the alleged date, if not sooner. Yeah. August is
right, the if not sooner clause. Yeah. Yeah, I consume a lot of board game content, so I'm very accustomed to, oh, it's going to be delayed. Well, that's just normal now. If they say, oh, it's going to be delayed till December next year, whatever, like, yeah, that's just normal. But if they actually get it out in August, that would be very impressive. And sooner.
And I'm thinking they will. If you look at the historical precedent of all the Kickstarters that Mr. B has done, they have it pretty well down where they get either very, very close to that date or before.
Yeah.
I think that's an example that was like 1 month late at most. So I think we will have it by August. I'd be very happy to see it sooner, obviously, but I think August is an easy guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine a company treating Killer Bunnies that well.
Right. That's what we got now.
So yeah, we're going into 2024 with high hopes, it looks like. Yeah, after this 2023, we're on the up and up now, right? So yeah.
It was a great year for Killer Bunnies, and it's just gonna get all the more better. I think it's only up from here.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to that. So we're with you, Jeff and Jonathan.
Penguins, personally, you know, I'm crossing my fingers for Penguins. Quest can come first, but I need Penguins.
Oh my God, yeah, I didn't even think of that, but yes. We know it's made. We know it's a thing. We just need someone to say, okay, we're going to print it now. We've been waiting for that for, what, 9-10 years, something like that?
10, I think. Or
2024. Let's say 2024, 10 years for sure.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember when Penguins is announced. I think it was like something like 2010 or something like that. I could be off.
Okay. Yeah.
It was before my time, but yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I buy it. Give me the ultra deluxe version of Penguins. I need it.
The ultra deluxe.
Can wait on Odyssey. I'd absolutely buy all of Odyssey too, but I'd want Penguins first.
Yeah, let's be honest. We want the thing we don't have.
Well, Odyssey needs to go through a bit more refinement. No.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So if that's it, we're with you, Jeff and Jonathan and Mr. B. And thank you to Matt for joining me today for this of 2023. Whatever came to mind, that's what we said.
Pseudo bunny banter, but not actually bunny banter.
Yeah, no. Okay, I guess that should be it then. All right.
All right,
I'll
Jeff.
stop.
Wow.
Jeff Bless.